Oh,
Did you
I should
active?
probably turn myself on here then.
There you are.
I'm
Hello, hello,
here.
hello, hello, hello.
We're both in trip prep. You're in mid transit.
I
I'm in
am.
pre transit mode.
I am. I am in Miami right now.
And you suggested that we go live because we're talking about trips. Now, Jason wants to do a live where him and I are trip planning. So if that's something that interests you,
I think that'd be fun.
leave it in the comments. Hi,
Hello. Yep. I'm.
Pam.
Oh, by the way, Pam, I saw your email. I have some suggestions, so I'll get to that ASAP. I got your email. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm always in trip mode, right? I mean, I'm sitting here on my iPad you know, looking at flights on Delta. I'm
So
always
if it
in
makes
trip
you
mode.
feel better, I have not received my first class upgrade yet for tomorrow for my commuter leg.
Really? How
Yep.
many are left?
I want to say like five or six.
That's a lot. Okay. Normally there's one or two. Revenue will hold it, but that's.
So I found out, I was talking to Delta yesterday, that when you see the X's, they are holding those. So they'll allot so much to the upgrade for a price and so much to the try to sell last minute for a price. And your
Mhm.
best bet when you're seeing X's on that map is to check within that 24-hour window to see if something opens
Right.
up soon.
Because I mean, yes, you're entitled to the free upgrades, but revenue has the right to
Hmm.
just just hold them, right? Because I mean, ultimately
Yeah,
they would rather sell them than give you a free seat.
100%.
So I'm
Let's
like,
see
I
here.
want.
Tony's in here. Josh is in here. Miss Q, Janine. Now, I said this, I think, before everybody got in here. Jason wants to do a live where we're trip planning
Yeah,
like this.
I think that would be
Excuse
fun.
me.
But I'm sitting here looking at some Christmas flights to Europe, and I'm like, I'm looking at Comfort Plus, I'm looking at Premium Select. I really want Delta One, of course, but I'm like, God, do I spend that much money? What if I flew from JFK? What if I flew from Detroit? So I think that'd be a fun like evening soap where Haley and I kind of like have a very you basically sit behind it because Haley and I do this all the time. We look at hotels.
Almost every day. We dream up trips. We talk
I'm like,
about
hey,
what
what do
we're
you,
going
what do
to
you, what
do.
do you think about this hotel? What do you think about that? Oh, Haley, don't forget, do not disturb.
Oh, good idea. Thank you. Cindy, welcome. Be sure to
Mm.
connect through JFK. That's where I'm connecting.
Ugh. But you know what, Haley? I hate to say it. I think Haley was right. I really think the issue is, well, my issues were not JFK. My issues were BNA.
I'll tell you, I've now flown through BNA again, and I concur and agree. I stand by my statement.
Delta's just not doesn't have a massive BNA presence.
No,
So
and then also you got to remember to like, yes, the people at your local airport are part of Delta, but a lot of the times, some of those positions are actually filled through the airport.
yeah,
So it's not necessarily Delta, American, da da da, as
right,
well.
right, right.
So I think it
I mean,
also
look,
comes
I
down
mean,
to how your
and look, I
airport's
mean,
being run down there.
BNA is a Southwest city. Oh, I guess I could talk. Do you keep your cards when you're off a ship, Haley? I would throw mine
Yeah,
away.
I got them in a drawer right here.
You keep them all. I would throw them away. Oh,
I
oh.
have a
So
couple, but I don't think it's necessarily by choice. I'd be like, oh, look at that. Look
so
what I found.
Pam, you'll appreciate this. So for the summit with you was my first time in a suite. Mrs. Q couldn't believe that was my first time in a suite with celebrity. Did that in a suite. Did Apex a couple times this summer. In a suite. I've really been converted, and I was in Aqua, Pam, for the 2 night sailing on the Apex, and I walked in and was like, "It's a little small." That's
He's
just,
turned into
I can't
such a
I,
dude now.
I
He's
can't I
sitting
can't get in the
there
retreat lounge.
talking about his sweet life, talking about how he, can't not be in a full service hotel now.
I know, I know. I mean, look, life is too short to not get what you want, right? So I'm just like,
100%.
although you know what, Pam, I still like blue better than lemonade. I still think I like blue better. Um, hey, Ann, you have your first star class card. Okay. Oh, you agree, Pam? You like blue better than lemon? I do. But what's cool is if you're on a suite, you can go to blue. I mean, I did it on the Apex in August. I went to Blue a couple times for dinner, even though I was in a suite. So um, I just like I like Blue. So yeah, you go both. Yeah. So Mrs. Q, I view the suites as almost having two restaurants, Blue and Lemonade. So I think I view yeah, you did do it a couple times on the summit, Pam. I remember that.
I do
Um,
love me some blue.
it was good. I had it for breakfast this morning. I had it for breakfast this morning.
You
Got the
know,
blue
Jason,
parfait.
I think a good travel planning point. So as we were sitting here, we're talking about Jason being across the pond for the holidays. Like I'm going to be in London. He's looking to go to Paris, maybe spend a couple days in London. And one of the things that's different, with the UK being not part of the EU anymore, is the travel restrictions are a little different. And I learned this yesterday because I had to order them. So if you're going to London, you have to get a day two test, and the day you arrive is day zero. So we had to order these tests to get sent to our hotel for the hotel to observe us taking our tests. It's a little wild. And then if you're going to take the channel, there is an affidavit you have to sign. This is that promise that you're not sick and infected and stuff to board the channel. It's a little wild, little
Wow.
things. It's totally different than Italy. Like Italy's pretty straightforward. I filled out my EU locator
I
form
mean,
yesterday. I did my COVID test, and that's it.
going to Greece was easy. You even have to have a COVID test. You have to have a COVID test or proof of vaccination.
Oh, the
So
and or
the yeah, or
or just the or.
so,
Oh,
but just the or yeah. So like when I went to Greece, I didn't have to have the COVID test. So all right, Miss Haley, it is top of the hour.
I just saw
That
your
means
message to Dan.
oh, I know. It was crap. Well, it is top of the hour, guys. It is time for another edition of Today in Travel. This is our weekly travel talk show. We do it every Tuesday at 11 a.m. I am in Miami Beach, so I am on Eastern time, God's time, with Haley right now. We cover everything in the industry: cruise talk, airline talk, hotel talk, resort talk. We cover it all. Travel insurance, packing tips. We cover it all. I am Jason Poole, one of your hosts. I am a travel advisor with Cruise Planners, which is an American Express travel representative. I love cruises. I just got off the Celebrity Apex, 2 night sailing for travel agents, Miami for tonight, and I'm boarding the Celebrity Summit tomorrow for 5 nights. So I thought while I'm down here, might as well hop on another one.
Why not?
Your other co-host is taking a casual flight tomorrow. Where are you going tomorrow?
It's this little place. It kind of looks like a boot.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. So I'm heading to Rome, Italy in 30 hours. That is when my
very,
flight time commences. Very excited to
very
be
nice.
here. I am your resident hotel expert. I own a hotel sales support company, and I travel blog everything kind of like Jason. I like cruising. I like going to Europe. Just like Jason, I love going to Disney too. Just love being around all the children. But
Wow.
yeah, so we're here, like Jason said, every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have a travel group, Today in Travel.live. If you guys would join that, we are over 500 strong now. Our goal is to get to 1,000 active members where you can ask questions, um, details, post some of your travel favorites. So, for those of you that may be new in here, we do have an agenda we follow. We talk about the latest hot travel topics in the news, travel tips of the day, answer questions of the day, talk about group rates for cruises, talk about who's traveling this week in our group, and then leave an open forum for you guys. So, Jason, first article.
Awesome. Okay, so you guys have heard this many times. You've heard Haley preach about getting to the airport early. You've seen my dilemma trying to get to Greece one time through JFK. We saw Southwest cancel flights. We've seen American do it. It's only going to get worse. So if you are crazy enough to think about going on a trip for the holidays, which I'm about to pull the trigger on some flights probably today, you need to brace yourself. Okay. So I think Ken Jarvis had a great tip one time when he was co-hosting the show about always have a backup plan, right? Like if there's two flights to Atlanta or two flights to JFK, take the first one, so you have a backup option, right? Take the early international flight, so you have a backup option if you need to. So it's only going to get worse. The holiday travel, it's because of the vaccine mandates with people leaving TSA or flight attendants quitting, not having enough to be brought back. The high demand, just winter is coming
That's
for
a great way to
the
put it.
this holiday season. So just brace yourself. There's going to be disruptions. Travel insurance, get there early. Backup plans.
You're gonna see flight changes too. Like originally going to London, I had Syracuse JFK, JFK to Heathrow. That has now changed to Syracuse DTW, DTW JFK, JFK to Heathrow. Um, there's a bunch of changes just ongoing. So be prepared, get your travel insurance. And
It-
also
you
make
know,
sure you understand your travel insurance because a lot of people,
yes.
Jason, I'm sure you can agree, make the assumption that the insurance that comes on their travel credit card is enough.
Oh yeah, I never use my. I always buy Allianz. I never rely. Love American Express. I don't rely on that. There's so many fine prints. I always buy Allianz. Always. I don't care how much it is. I will not do a trip without Allianz travel insurance. Like I think they are the best
I
in the
just
game.
said
It's
you
all
booked
like
some for me this morning.
that's all. I spend my own. I get no discount, guys. I pay what you guys pay. Like I book it. Like you got to have it. I mean, this could be a travel tip of the day, but what I've done now because of the JFK fiasco, like a day before, or if it's a later flight, I will open the Delta app and just look at the same itinerary that I'm doing, the same dates and airports, and I always just kind of have a backup in mind. Just so if my flight gets canceled or delayed, I'm not flustered trying to find something in a panic at the gate. I can already kind of know, hey, there's a KLM flight from JFK to Amsterdam. Can I get on that? Right? Because so I always kind of have like a backup plan.
Jason, there is a question on this yearly travel insurance with
That
Allianz. What's your
that
thought, or do you do as you go?
that's a longer conversation. We'll save that for a topic. We've actually covered that before.
I think we've kind of covered something similar.
It's a long conversation.
It's a very, very long conversation, but
Yeah.
it's so worth it. And like you said, another thing that you can do too is you can pull up the Google Flights app and you can see all the different flights. So even if your airline partner doesn't have any more flights going out, if you have that travel insurance, book something else, send it over to your travel agent, cough, cough, to take care of for you and to get your money back.
Yeah. Well, we actually have a little travel tip about insurance coming up later today, so
It
we'll
does.
circle back around.
It sure does. Let me grab this other slide here.
All right. So for those of you looking to go to Asia, Japan is going to slowly start release or easing up some of their restrictions that come to the country, mostly for visitors on short business trips, local like Japanese nationals who have left the country and come back in. So instead of making them quarantine for 10 days, making them quarantine just for like 3 days. Japan being an island, it was able to just completely close itself off from the world. Right? You could leave Japan, but they were not letting you come back in. Like
Kind of
so
like
now,
history repeating itself.
right, right. So hopefully it's getting better. I was actually talking with a friend this morning about planning a big birthday celebration coming up in a year and a half for me, and I'm like, maybe it's time to go to Asia. So I've never been to
I
Asia.
see. crazy.
So might be time to age. So good news there. Japan
Yeah,
slowly opening back up.
they've been super cautious about like reopening. So long story short, my Italian tutor, she's native Italian. Her husband's in the military. She married an American man. They're in Japan and they have just waited till their vaccination rates have gotten so high to finally start opening up the doors a little bit. So that is good news.
All right. And then the last news article of the day, Airbnb is expected to just continue to lead in the alternative vacation property. So Airbnb accounts for about 50% of the alternative lodging. So basically not a hotel. So Airbnb expects business is going up, rates are going up, and so Airbnb is going to be here to stay. I tend to use VRBO a little bit more for my clients. VRBO has a contract with cruise planners, so we're able to sell it and make a tiny bit of commission on it. So
Not a lot for you, I know.
no, it is nothing. But I mean, I've done it for friends. I will do it.
You know, I'm so conflicted. I'm always conflicted on the Airbnb thing. I've used it. And when I go to Italy tomorrow, I'm staying in essence an apartment like a VRBO, like an Airbnb.
Yep, yep.
I'm so conflicted on it because I think my hotel hat struggle with it is that gets the same marketing esque platform as being hotel lodging, alternative lodging, without having to follow the same standards from like OSHA, from Department of Health. They don't pay occupancy tax. So my hotel hat is a little cynical towards it. But I
Oh, yeah.
mean, when you're
When
going and spending some time somewhere,
I
it's nice
agree.
to
So,
have that. And it's such a trend. And that's why you're seeing brands like Marriott coming out
yeah,
with Marriott homes and villas.
right. Right. Yeah, I agree. For like a couple nights, I always like hotels full. Like I like that my hotel's on the beach. I can go walk down the beach. Got a restaurant downstairs. Like I like it. But if I was going to Europe for like a month, I'm not thinking a hotel for a month. I'd get some type of home apartment, home rental. Like that's where I would do it. So
And the one thing I think that I draw back to why I tend to do a hotel a bit more. And, obviously when I go back with my family in April to Italy, is I'll be doing hotels for the three of us. It's like, it is so nice in the middle of the night. I mean, anything can malfunction. Your sink's leaking, the shower's not working.
right,
You can call, somebody can come fix it, or you can get another room. If
right.
you're in an Airbnb, you do not have that luxury.
No, you do not. So, but different options for everybody out there. So, well,
Ah,
that
gee,
is
thanks
it.
for the award. Wendy
Oh,
says it looks like you're in a Hyatt, Jason.
I'm at the Confidant. It's their part of their Unbound collection.
So now we're going to put the spotlight on Jason. Jason, Celebrity Apex. Now, are we going to expect a slightly different Celebrity Apex in the US
Yeah, I
versus
mean,
the Med?
so I
So
will
lay it on us.
so I do think the food is a little bit better. Maybe there were some supply chain issues in the Med. I kind of felt like the food was a little bit better on the 2 night sailing. At the end of the day, it's still the Apex. It's beautiful. It's Celebrity's flagship. It's their flagship right now until the Beyond comes out. Obviously, that will be the new flagship. But the Apex is the current flagship of the brand. It's the best of the best right now, and they did a great job. They had 2,100 people on board. That is the most I've sailed with since the restart. It was packed, and it kind of felt good, right? Like it was kind of cool to like see people on a cruise. There were some interesting tidbits during the Q&A with Richard Fain. He's CEO of the Royal Caribbean Group, of the parent company, and then the CEO of Celebrity, Lisa, was there. So Richard and Lisa were there, and there were some interesting little tidbits they talked about. Celebrity is definitely trying to move up brand. For too long, the Royal Caribbean brand and Celebrity brand had a lot of crossover. They were both kind of going toward the millennials. They were both saying, bring your children on board. They were both kind of going for the same customer. And that just doesn't make sense, right?
Mhm.
Like, don't say you want families on board when you don't have water slides and bumper cars, right? I mean, like, you can't beat Royal Caribbean for families. Like,
You're
you can't
really
do
stuck
it, right?
on those bumper cars, Jason.
Oh my god, I can't stand it. Anyways, so they talked about how they really tried to really refocus on, hey, let's do always included. So if you book a celebrity cruise, you always asterisk. There are some exceptions. You get like the drink package and Wi-Fi, and gratuities are paid for, included. They publicly announced they raised prices. Like, hey, we're a premium brand. Like, we raised our prices. I don't think they went up that much more, but I mean, but prices did go up. They talked about how they want to be a lifestyle company, partnering with companies like Peloton and Goop to just really focus on like health and wellness. It's so they really are trying to focus on like a modern, chic vibe, right? So it's more about the craft cocktails and not the bumper cars, right? Which is great. So from the Royal Caribbean's group perspective, it's awesome that you've got entry level family, premium, and now with Silver Seas, luxury. So they've got very distinct places in the market. And Celebrity has said they're really going after the elder millennials and the Gen X's. Like that's where they really want to bring people in, and so me, right? So people 30, 40, 50, like that's what they're really trying to go after hard.
I thought you were too old for Gen X and older millennial.
I am right on the. I'm either a baby Gen X or I'm a senior millennial. I am like right on the line for both.
I
So
wasn't sure. Sorry.
no, I am right on the line. I think I'm more of a senior or elder millennial. I think. But yeah, so they're really making a play for them. They're being very vocal about it. That's their demographic, right? Celebrity is no longer pushing families and children, right? If you just want to bring your kid, come on. They talked also about why Royal Caribbean requires mask on board, but Celebrity doesn't. The reason is
Hmm.
the children. So because there's so few children on Celebrity, they can do sailings without masks being required. Since Royal Caribbean has so many children on board who are not vaccinated. So think of how much of the ship has not received a vaccine on Royal Caribbean. I mean, it could be 10%, 20% of the ship could be unvaccinated, which is insane. I wouldn't step foot on a ship with that percentage of unvaccinated people. Wouldn't even dream of doing it. But you have to wear a mask on Royal Caribbean because of that. So for people who want a safer cruising experience, brands such as Celebrity and Virgin, where their kids aren't even allowed, everyone has to be vaccinated. There's some so that's making a lot of my clients who have been hardcore Royal fans are like, hey, I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want to be around people that aren't vaccinated, children. I'm going to Celebrity. And Celebrity is really trying to just capture those people and keep them. And so far, things are going well
It's
with the
nice
brand.
because there's not a lot in that market for people who
No,
don't want to be around kids, but don't
no,
want to go play shuffleboard on Holland America.
no. I agree. I agree.
So
Right. Right. So I do think there is a hole in the market that celebrities that's trying to fill. Right. So someone like me, 38, I have no need for bumper cars and water slides. I'm not old enough to enjoy oldies at like the pub and the schooner bar. Like that's not my jam, right? It's like so I'll pay money for a nice cruising experience, but it's like well, I'm not doing Oceana. I think I'm too young for Oceana. Like maybe Canard. I mean, I am interested in Canard. Like
Jason's
for real,
just not ready for the acoustic vision of work
right?
in the pub.
So I think Celebrity is
On a
really doing a good job,
Maserati.
right? Do it basically offering like a premium experience for a premium experience at like a at a at a premium price point without being like you said paying shuffleboard, right? But I mean, I could go book Holland America and have a nice premium experience, but it's for very old people, and I'm just not there yet. Mystic,
But
you asked for
Jason,
Silver Sea.
you could take your teeth out with everybody else on
I
vacation.
know Silver Sea. I mean, I think Silver Seas is beautiful. I just think I'm not old enough
I don't have enough money
personally.
to do Silver Sea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not old enough, and yeah, so I think it's an age thing. And I mean, and the median age on celebrity is I don't know what it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's got to be 45, 50.
do you see Pam? I'm a Zoomer.
A Zoomer. I'm a Zoomer.
I love that,
Um,
Pam. But I think what your choices in essence are going to be coming down to are Virgin and Celebrity. And those are two vastly different experiences as well.
right, right. So a couple years, and we can talk about this forever. Years ago, Royal Caribbean really decided, or they said they wanted to capture the millennial market, and they just kind of didn't really do anything for it. They, you know, they tried to bring the Navigator and the Mariner, in, and they did a decent job with it. But then they just kind of stopped. They just kind of stopped appealing to the people that don't have children or aren't seniors who live in Florida, right? So they just started doubling down on families, which is great. We need good family cruise lines. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of people like myself that don't really want to cruise with children.
I think
And
when Olivia's at her dad's and I'm doing an adult trip, I don't want to be around kids.
right. And so it's like, wow, like the idea of like, I could do the Edge with Martini Bar and Eden, or I could do Oasis with water slides and children and mask and unvaccinated children. It's like, there's a lot of people like me that are like,
And I mean,
I
Oasis is beautiful. Like that is a beautiful ship,
it
but
is,
like
love it, love it.
it's a different experience. And I think Celebrity and Virgin are just doing this great job of offering two different varieties because there are
Mhm,
cruises where I want to go on like Celebrity. I want to be in the Persian Garden. I want to go to the spa. I
mhm,
want to eat in
mhm.
blue or Luminée, and I just want to have a nice, beautiful experience. Maybe go to the club, do my thing. But then
Yeah.
there's part of me that would love to go with friends on Scarlet Lady and do theme
Uh-huh,
parties and
uh-huh.
drag queen brunch and all these fun things. So I think it's great that you have two vastly different options now.
I'm on Virgin in 10-ish days.
I cannot wait to see you do that. I
I'm
really
excited. I'm excited. I mean, look, I think it's great that we have cruise lines who are shaking up the industry, right? The family market is well taken care of. The elder cruises like Holland are well done. Cunard does a fantastic job. The luxury lines do a fantastic job. There has just been this hole in the middle for senior millennials or the baby Gen Xers. Like we don't know where to go, right? I'm just kind of like we've been lost in the wilderness. And Celebrity and Virgin are saying, come here. We'll offer you two vastly different options, but they're going after that crowd.
I think it's great. And I love that they're expanding on some of these things because like I love a theme night, but
Yeah,
like I'm sick of 70s night and that
right.
being the only theme night. Like I would love a 90s night party. Like give me some boy band, Spice Girl,
They did a
just
90s night on the Symphony TA, I think.
I have yet to see it on a ship. Maybe they did on your TA, but like think about it. Any of the Oasis Allure sailings we've been on, like
70. But I mean, but look, that goes back to showing you their target demographic are old people, often who live in Florida, or families, right? Where the
yeah,
parents are like, "Oh my god, I remember the '70s music," right? So I mean, so that's why it's there, right? So when the kids are in the arcade, they're in the promenade dancing to YMCA, right? Because they remember it, right? Which is great. But again, when you didn't live in the '70s, you're like, wow, like I want a '90s night. I lived in the '90s. So
yeah. And I mean, and this totally comes from a place of privilege that we've been able to cruise as much as we have, where we can be like, I'm
Yeah.
so over this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's a cruise line for everybody, right?
There is.
And, there
There
is something
is.
for everybody, and people get too offended if you don't agree with their choice. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean,
And
even
like
even on
it's
this cruise
not us
even on this
saying
cruise, like
that like Royal Caribbean's bad. It's just ideally it's not entirely my choice of cruise line anymore. Like, I
oh,
think socially I
right.
could maybe be talked into a weekender, but
Mhm.
if I'm spending my time and my money, especially when I'm doing an adult trip, and even Olivia's not, I mean, like she loves water slides and stuff, but like she's not super picky. She can entertain herself. I just, I like that I have a direction. It's just different.
Look, so everybody has a cruise line, right? So I met a cruise planner on this 2-night sailing. He does luxury sailings, luxury sails. He really focused on luxury. I told him I was going on Virgin in a week and a half, and he was like, "Ooh, gross." He's like, "I wouldn't step foot on Virgin. It looks like Carnival." And I was like, "Wow!" Right? So I mean, yeah, I'm excited to go try Virgin, and here I am. He's like, "I do Silver Seas and Crystal," and he's like, "Virgin looks trashy." So there really is something for everyone. So sorry, I didn't mean to get on a rant this
No,
long.
it's a good tangent because we only had a couple articles, and I mean, obviously, we didn't include the fact that vaccines for children are now shipping out, which I mean,
Right?
that's a plus. I know that I've never seen Olivia so excited for a shot.
Excellent. Good. Good. Good.
So, Jason, we're going to debate a little bit more because you and I
Yeah.
saw this article from Condé Nast.
Yeah. So
Um,
there was this interesting
Go
article
ahead.
that basically some of the it's becoming a trend for these exclusive destinations to start banning ships of various sizes, either like the large ones, like Bora Bora is now saying no mega ships can come. So it's only going to be like the small cruise ships. Grand Cayman has now scrapped its plans to build a dock. So that means no Oasis class ships are going to be going to Grand Cayman ever or anytime soon. Um, so these smaller, usually nicer places are making a conscious effort to not have just 6,000 people on Oasis class ship get off and just like flood the town and leave 8 hours later. So on one hand, I'm upset because there's a celebrity solstice itinerary that I really want to do with you, Haley, that left from the South Pacific, stopped in Bora Bora, went to Hawaii. I looked at that sailing; it looks
Picturing you.
beautiful, but but the solstice class looks too big unless they make an exception to stop in Bora Bora going forward. So selfishly, I'm upset about it.
It's also a sustainability thing. I mean, look how Venice even got to that point of where
Mhm.
they just axed the cruise ships.
Right. And I am, as someone who's in the travel industry, I'm actually okay with this, right? Because while I might like cruising, I say I love cruising, I understand that it's not always, a ship with 6,000 people does not always attract the type of people you want, right? Bora Bora is one of the most exclusive destinations in the world. They don't want non luxury people going to check. You want to go to Bora Bora, you got to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of their mentality, right? Like, and so, and they just don't want it to be just so crowded for the people who actually decided to fly and stay there and help the economy even more are being pushed out because there's a ship with 6,000 people that dropped off 6,000 people to the port.
Well, that and the benefit of having the small ships, like speaking of Bora Bora, French Polynesia,
Hmm.
is they want a more crafted, truly equal partnership with these lines. Like you have Paul
Hmm.
Gauguin, for example.
Hmm.
They work a lot locally with their tours. Like it's not just a Paul Gauguin thing; it is a local
Hmm.
tourism bureau that they
Hmm.
partner with for their tours and adventures. And that is also going to allow you to have more unique experiences like that Paul Gauguin ship. you can go down to the bottom deck when you're anchored somewhere and kayak off the back of the ship. You can go get a
Right.
beach float mat and just be in French Polynesian, enjoy your
I agree.
best life. It's a different experience. And I think some destinations, I know this sounds a little callous maybe, but like, your Nassau and Cozumel are a bit more generic, which is why it's great for big ships. It's a little
Right.
taste of that. It's a bit more generic, but you know, there needs to be value and exclusivity at the same time too. That adds to the experience. People go to Bora Bora because it's
It's
exotic, it's
and
exclusive,
it's
it's
hard it's hard to get to. It's exclusive.
Mhm.
And I do think if you do if you do frequent stops, it makes it not exclusive, and it can actually lower the prices of hotels and restaurants.
And
Because it's
values,
just
absolutely.
right. Why is Nassau and Cozumel so cheap? They're the number one and number two cruise ports in the world,
Yeah.
right? They're not exclusive. No one's like, oh my god, I'm going to Nassau. Wow, we've all been 100 times. So I am okay with these places determining their look. It's just a valve, right? Like
This is totally
how
random,
much
Jason, but I need a
do
button sound of you going, "Wow." Like, I just need that in my life to use randomly. I'm
But yeah,
sorry.
so there's definitely gonna have to be some changes for some of these itineraries that leave from the South Pacific to reposition to Hawaii and Alaska. So we'll have to see what they do. So
Oh, D, thank you for that award. No, I think it's a good thing. So, we were talking about travel insurance earlier.
mm,
We have our next trip of the day. So, the biggest recommendation, and Jason brought this up, we started creating a list of running tips to make sure we have good ones every week.
hmm
Is
hmm
to take photos and screenshots through all of your travel when things start going awry. Can you kind of explain that a little bit more, Jason,
yeah.
from a travel
So
perspective?
like when you have like an airline. The airline app, and if your flight is delayed, you can like see the delay in the app. You'll get emails from the airline letting you know your flight's delayed or if they're trying to rebook a connection. I just take screenshots of all of that. When I'm at the airport, if something is delayed on the screen, I take pictures of it with my phone. If I have extra boarding passes, like I take pictures of that. I took pictures of everything for my recent disruption. When I was trying to go to Athens, I took screenshots of everything. Us landing in Allentown, Pennsylvania, right? I took screenshots, but the Delta app changed us to BNA to ABE, like in the app. So I took screenshots of that when we're on the route in Allentown. I took a picture to like prove that I was like in at the Allentown airport. So when I filed my insurance claim, I had tons of documented evidence and not just, hey, I missed my flight and my cruise. I need thousands of dollars in reimbursement. Thanks. So I just had
The
a
more
lot of
evidence you have, the easier it is to push your money
right,
through and get it back faster.
right. So if you have trip interruption, screenshots of everything, as you guys know, keep hotel receipts and all that kind of stuff. But really, you take screenshots of the app, and if you need to file an insurance
And
claim,
make sure if you have a theft situation, you get a police report too.
right, because you can't just be like, oh, I lost my brand new iPhone. Can I get a new one? So
Yeah. So very, very important. So I posted the question of the day post a little late. But there's a question in our group that I decided to grab that was posted. Glynis has some time off, and everybody feel free to comment between December 7th through the 12th. She wants to do something with it. She was interested in the Bahamas, but reading about people currently getting stuck there because they got COVID in the Bahamas has her a little nervous. There aren't any cruises that I can find during that period. What's a girl to do?
Grand Hyatt Bahamar.
But she said she was nervous about the Bahamas. Or would
Yeah,
you
but
just
like
rather get stuck at the Bahamar?
everything a second of Bahamar. It's beautiful. I wouldn't leave the property, right? But when you get there, like you have to show. When I went in June, I think it probably changed. But when I went, like there was a sign like vaccinated people checked in over here, unvaccinated people checked in over there. Like unvaccinated people had to wear masks, or like vaccinated people had like wristband. Like they really did a good job. So if I had a couple days to kill, I would maybe do that. If you wanted to say domestic, I would do I mean, New York is fun. Like all the Christmas lights are out. Go see a show.
And if you're
Like
wanting warm, you could always do the Keys.
yeah, you do the
The
Keys.
Keys are an option, or even Virgin Islands,
Yeah,
technically, would be an option.
I mean,
I don't know what's going on in Puerto Rico right now. I actually haven't checked that in a
if you
minute.
wanted a cruise-like experience domestically, didn't want to leave the country, like some like Vegas properties, that you feel like you're on a cruise ship. I mean, they have to pay for.
Yeah, actually, Vegas would be a good option too,
Yeah.
because you can get that experience a little bit on the strip, or even that Red Rock place that I went. That's just like a one-stop shop. It has
Hmm.
a theater, it has nightclubs, it has a
Right.
beautiful
So
spa. Like,
yes, lots of options. Yeah. So Vegas. I mean, I called the Baja more the Vegas of the Bahamas.
I mean,
Uh,
it's accurate.
it is Vegas of the Bahamas. So yeah. So good question.
So, other than Jason this week going on the Celebrity Summit, this week we have
Oh, I forgot to
JJ
put
Cruz
myself.
on Scarlet Lady. You didn't comment, Jason.
Sorry.
Jarvis is on Freedom of the Seas. Mark Pizzo's on Mariner. I will be heading to Italy tomorrow. And then, of course, Jason is on the summit. And then, just a reminder, we still have some group rates, just a couple left in our initial block
Right.
here
Right.
on Alaska. Jason's going to try to see if we can get a few more. So if you want to join our group cruise to Alaska on the Celebrity Solstice next August, hit up Jason. And then there is a group on the Scarlet Lady February 4th if you guys are interested in
Uh,
giving Virgin Voyages a try.
I will be on in 10 days, so I will. It will be a topic of discussion very shortly.
Absolutely. Well, guys, remember, please join us at todayintravel.live. Invite your friends. This is a collaborative group. It's not just about this show with Jason and I. This is a place where you can share some of your travel favorites, some of your favorite vlogs, ask questions. All forms of travel are welcome. All cruise lines are welcome. All travel partners are welcome. So please go to todayintravel.live, invite your friends. And if you have questions, you can reach out to Jason or myself. And we'll see you on the summit, me in Italy. And we'll be live next week. Will you be home or will you be out and about? I'll
I
be in
will
Italy.
be home. I will be home. Yep, I'll be
All
home.
right. So you'll be on Not God's Time, and I'll be somewhere in the future.
I'm home for 3 days. Then it's Virgin. So
Excellent. Well, have a great